Hello everyone, Attack Power here with another Tribute to Normandy 44 versus update. Let's dive right into this, and if you enjoy these, hit that like button, subscribe for more Steel Division 2 content, and consider checking out that Patreon down below. Thank you to all current and past Patreon members. You really help out the channel a lot. Let's go. So welcome back to our fourth versus for the Tribute to Normandy 44, and today they have the British Guards Armored Division and the 91st Luftlandedivision. Division. So all right, let's do this. Armored Division for the Allies here. Let's check out what we got going on. No big surprise. British Guards Armored Division, found in 1941. It drew up its battalions and other elements from Guards units, so Grenadiers, Scots, Household, Coldstream, etc. Senior formations of the Household Division tasked with public duties and what else? Guarding the royal family. So these guys should be the bomb diggity, right? In terms of like ripped, right? But befitting for such an elite and esteemed division, the Guards Armored Division receives some of the best equipment available to the British Army. All right, that's cool. Some battalions have already seen combat, but the Guards Armor as a whole got its baptism of fire when landing in the middle of June in Normandy. In the subsequent fighting, the Guards saw action in the east of Caen, including fighting against the Schwerpanzerabteilung 503 with its Königstiger during Operation Goodwood. After the lack of success in these hard-fought fights, womp womp, Guards Armored Division saw continued combat through France, pulled off the line to rest and refit during the closing of the Falaise pocket. After breakout from Normandy, the division took part in the liberation of Brussels and later on became one of the main armored battle groups to rush north to relieve the Allied paratroopers in Market Garden. They experienced further fighting in Netherlands, as well as during the Battle of the Bulge and subsequent combat in Germany itself. The Guards Armored is featured in the base game of Normandy 44. There's no denying it. So here we go. In game, there's no denying it. The Guards Armored Division are Great Britain's poster boys, lavishly equipped and at full combat strength. Okay, so I guess they should have the coolest Commonwealth equipment. So we'll see what that really means, though. As we will feature two additional Commonwealth armored divisions, the 7th Armored Desert Rats and the new 4th Canadian Army, we decided to give each tank formation its own unique flavor. So that's cool. Yeah, it's nice that we're not just getting like 3 cookie-cutter Commonwealth divisions. In the Guards Armored Division case, it will be a heavy cavalry division acting as a steamroller on the battlefield. Okay, cool. The formation will focus on grinding the enemy down with overwhelming tank firepower and heavy artillery. All right, neat. That sounds neat. The Guards Armored Division doesn't lack in core combat units, be it armor or supporting arms. That's why air support for this formation will be minimal. And one of the division's major drawbacks, which is actually really odd because Commonwealth usually has like an air force that slaps really hard. Like Commonwealth planes are pretty fantastic. Like they're pretty magnificent. So having one that's actually not good at flying stuff is kind of odd. So it should be unique in terms of that on its own. Guards Armor Division strength and weaknesses. So what does the Guards Armor Division in-game? Expected the tank category will be very good. Likewise, AT and RD tabs will feature plenty of hard-hitting units. Recon support AA will be decent at worst, as in they're probably phenomenal, because for the Commonwealth, 40 mil Bofors are the main AA. Support will probably be mid. It'll probably be like M4A3 Shermans or whatever, A2, whatever the HE ones are. Recon will probably have snipers, even though it says it's decent. It will probably have snipers because, I mean, every division these days does. Units on offer and cost, so they won't even like aggressively cost these slots. Infantry's the Achilles heel of the armored division will be average at best. Now, usually I would take that with a grain of salt because we've all seen how many times Eugen has said, oh, such and such divisions XYZ is going to suck. And then you look at it, it's like, it doesn't suck at all. It's fine. When it comes to the British infantry and their Bren light machine guns and their crappy submachine gun, they might actually be actually be average at best. That might actually be true for once. As mentioned before, air will be sorely lacking in planes and punching power. Again, we'll see. While not featuring many new units, the Guards Armored Division regrouped some of the most noteworthy British ones in not before seen numbers, and finally all in British battle group. So, Fireflies, we've heard your comments. Have you now? We've heard your comment. How about you, Eugen? Can you hear your comment to please reach out to me so we can do like an interview or something? Please. Anyway, we've heard your comments about British divisions not fielding the British Firefly. Yes, it is kind of ironic. They were the only Commonwealth nation not to feature them until the recent release of 1st Special Service Brigade. They got a few, yes, very few. But now you can rejoice. Guards Armored Division will contain a whopping 36 of these tanks. My guess is 3 cards, and like if you brought them all in C, you would get 12, like on each card. That's my guess how the math works out. That would be my assumption as to how this math works out. Otherwise, how else would they make 36 work out? I'm not finding an answer in my head on quick math. 6 cards of 6, I guess, would work as well, but that's really weird. So well, maybe it isn't weird. I don't know. Maybe there are different versions with different numbers. But anyway, so you get lots of Fireflies. For those of you who love that Firefly, this division is for you. There is more. Next to the Fireflies division will field the Achilles and the 17-pounder. This will mean the commander will be able to field the largest amount of 17-pounders in-game. Here's the thing, though. I'll be honest with you. 17-pounders are very hit and miss. In some games, they are like, they might as well have a laser sight on them. They're so phenomenal. And then other games, they might as well be like fighting with their eyes closed and like, and glasses over top of that. Like it's like Jimmy Bob with like glasses this thick, can't see all of a sudden. So 17-pounders are always like almost good, but then they're not. It's one of those weird things. There are more iconic British units coming, previously only available to other allied nations. Again, ironic. These include the Sexton, all right, cool, and some Cromwell variants. Great, Cromwells, yay. The division's artillery was supplemented by heavy guns such as the BL 7.2-inch, 182 mil, and the U.S. supplied M1A1 Long Tom. Okay, so these are definitely some big arty pieces. So this might have some big boomies if you like that. Oh, and that's it. Guards armor was the flaming sword of the British Army. Serious amount of firepower. So this is not the usual as thick breakdown. Although I guess, no, it's kind of weird that they don't like tell us what kind of infantry they're putting in or anything like that. Sounds like it's going to be Cromwell's Achilles 17-pounders. Obviously, we know that. It'll probably be 40 mil Bofors. It'll probably be some number of scouts or whatever, probably with some snipers because division can't go without snipers these days, apparently. I'm assuming the infantry will just be like usual, like rifles, Piat, that sort of thing, motorized rifles, motor rifles. It'll probably be a whole bunch of those, I would assume. Maybe like assault pioneers and stuff, like the little 5-man squads, which would be useful. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they don't mention anything about the infantry coming in half tracks, but that would make sense. Like that would make a lot of sense if they did. Air, they don't say what's in the air tab. So like, is it just some Spitfires and like a Mosquito card? Is it Typhoons? Is it, is it a bunch of British bombers? There's a whole lot of options here in terms of the Commonwealth Air Force. And even if there's a lack of air, it's probably still pretty good. Like if we're being honest with ourselves, the Commonwealth planes are basically all phenomenal. There's not many Commonwealth planes that are like super bad. So this division might hit pretty hard, honestly. This might be one of the first like Western Allied divisions that can really brawl at long range. That's one thing the Western Allied divisions are missing is like a long range tank division. I'm trying to make sure I'm not saying that and being totally wrong. You have the American divisions, and none of them are really long range at all. Task Force 45, Butler, 2nd Infantry. I mean, even a third armored, kind of, but I wouldn't even put them at like super long range. Most of their units are 1750 or shorter. Like they don't really have long range tanks. British wise, nothing really. I'm trying to think. 6th Indian, 15th Scott, no. 6th Airborne, definitely no. 6th South African. South African does have some long range capability. That one does. That one has a little bit, but this one feels like it's got a lot more. I mean, you're not getting 36 freaking Fireflies in any other decks along with Achilles and 17-pounders on top of it. So, I mean, this division might actually have a little bit of kick, a little bit of punch at long range. But we'll see what this infantry tab does, because remember, of course, it's still an infantry meta. So even if the tanks are actually like good, even if it's like a good mix of tanks, it still might really hurt with the infantry. Although a mix of Cromwells and Fireflies and stuff is pretty potent. I mean, that does a lot of damage. We've seen it do well in other divisions. So we will have to see how this one turns out. All right, 91st Luftwaffe in division. All right, let's see here. It was formed in late war 1944 intended as an air transportable division. Division was originally created to partake in the aborted airborne operation aimed at seizing the Finnish island of Susati in the Gulf of Finland. Despite its name, it was a regular here division used as a follow-up unit to be airlifted into the combat zone after a first wave had cleared the way. All right, cool beans. So nothing super exciting there. 91st Luftlandedivision Division never served its intended role, not surprising, of course, and instead ended up as a stationary occupation force in northern France. Very small, it had 2/3 the theoretical strength of an infantry division, with no tanks, no flak guns, no trucks, and very light artillery. Not the most promising deck of cards. Oh yeah, this is looking great again. Yay. Another... I don't know. I'm not going to lie. The guard division doesn't actually sound OP to me for once. Like, this one just sounds like it'll be really good. Like, it'll be good, but not like, whoa, good. It's not like there's like really any new units in this division. Just a different mix of the Commonwealth division units we already have. This does not sound promising at the moment. We'll have to hold our breath. Let's see. Maybe they'll surprise us. A little bit of help for the 91st. Thank goodness. Over the course of the Battle of Normandy, 91st found itself trapped in the ever-shrinking Cherbourg pocket. At the it ended up amalgamating a lot of smaller units scattered to disband information to other detachments. All right, the nice thing about this is it gives Eugen a little bit of leeway to find some units that probably didn't actually belong in this division. The combat history of the 91st ends there, as its surviving troops were used to fill up other Axis divisions. At this point, the casualties suffered amount over 2/3 of its original strength. The main units attached to 91st were the elite 6th Fallschirmjäger Regiment. Oh, there it is. Led by Colonel von der Heidet. I don't know. Heidet. Oh, God. Too many consonants all at once. Heidet. Whatever. Detached from its parent 2nd Fallschirmjäger Division, the regiment joined the 91st on D-Day before it was moved to the 17th SS. This results in Fallschirmjäger units being available in Combat Phase A and B. That's pretty phenomenal. Depending on which ones they give them, that's pretty phenomenal. But a lot of the Fallschirmjäger units are really good now. Now, it just depends, are they like the 20-point, like lame ones? Or is it like the full Fallschirmjäger units? We're going to find out, I hope. The convolutedly named Panzer... Oh, good lord. Oh, God. Panzer Ausbildungs und Ersatzabteilung 100. Oh my God. I know some of you enjoy watching me butcher these words, and some of you hate it, but I have to try. This was you only improve by trying, right? This was an armored training battalion under the 91st Division sector, entirely equipped with old French Boita tanks. These were encountered by American paratroopers on the Murderet River, not the Tigers as depicted in Saving Private Ryan. Old French tanks might not be as sexy enough for Hollywood. That is true. That is true. There weren't that many Tigers driving around. Stug 902 with itself. Okay, so some Stug 3s. That's really helpful. That's huge, actually. Several independent or former divisional artillery A and AT battalions stemming from disband. So basically, they're just like putting together whatever they want to make this division not suck completely for once. Okay, that's actually promising, I'll be honest with you. All right, here we go. Recon, only a few slots, so below average. Well, that sucks. In real life, the 91st only had a bicycle. Oh, God, I hope that's not what they do. Oh, supplemented by some veteran paratrooper scouts. Oh, I hope it's the Abwehrs. Oh, those are very good. Let's hope we get those. Infantry, pretty good with lots of options and cheap slots. Okay, there you go. The default infantry is made out of LL Schützen, so new units. Okay, while this division could not field much heavy equipment, it could count on a large amount of light machine guns. So that's why Schützen squads will be similar to a grenadier, but fielding 2 MG34s. That's a massive upgrade. So basically, it's a 9-man squad with 2 MG34s. I mean, if they still make them 20 points, they're going to be absolutely cracked. If they make them 25, they'll be solid. But if they make them 20, they will be 100% ridiculously cracked. LO Schützenpanzerfaust, which are like Grenadier Panzerfaust squads. Okay, that's not exciting. Schützenführer, which are comparable to Grenadierführer, but featuring an MG34. Whatever, that doesn't change anything. In Combat Phase A and B, you'll be able to deploy Fallschirmjäger FG42s, Fallschirmjäger ZFs, and Fallschirmjäger Führer and Fallschirmjäger Pioneer. Wow, that's really good. Is it like, I assume it's like 1 card of each, but even 1 card of each in A and B phase. You put the, I don't know, you put the Fallschirm Pioneers in A, and you could put both these in B and get 24 of them. That's really good. Okay. And then this thing too. All right, this division actually has some promise here. At least in the infantry tab, this could do something. Like, this could not blow balls like every other Axis division has so far. Tanks, pretty average mix of Deutsche Panzers, older French tanks, including the R-35, H-39, and B-2, plus some Stug 3 assaults. So this little chunk here is actually pretty great. The B-2s are actually really fun, and for their price can be extremely effective, like for their price. The R-35 is crap, if I'm remembering correctly. H-39 is another little dinky tank, but truthfully, little light dinky tanks can be useful. So I would say if there's enough Stug 3s, like if there's at least 2 cards of Stug 3s, this is actually pretty good. If there's only 1 card of Stug 3s, this is going to be a bit of a struggle. But with 2 cards that you can put in A and B and have like 12 Stugs, that's plenty, honestly, for a 1v1 game. Support, decent mix of regular infantry with Fallschirmjäger linked. Expect plenty of machine guns, MG34, MG42, ooh, LG42. So they're actually going to have some 2K HE. Okay. All right. This division is coming together a little bit here. I'm not going to lie. This is actually looking like a not heaping dumpster fire of trash for once. Anti-tank, a good amount of units. Once again, divided between regular and Fallschirmjäger ones. You deploy Gerlichs, Pack 40s, and Pack 43s. That's phenomenal. Okay. All right. I'm not seeing any issues right now, actually. An average category of anti-air with light AA and A phase. And then in B phase, you get Flak 36s and 88s. That's pretty great, actually. We've seen already that having crappy AA and A phase is not the end of the world. I mean, freaking Air Force, whatever, 1st Airborne has no AA and A at all. And I mean, they're one of the best divisions in the game. So it's definitely very survivable. It depends on what their fighter force looks like if you can hold the air in the meantime. Otherwise, you may have a very unfun time in A. I mean, I guess you could really just pump out a lot of 20 mils, but that's still very underwhelming. Artillery, a pretty good tab. Okay. I mean, none of the tabs have been awful yet. While this division only had light guns in its original form, the host views that were added once in the field. Okay, the organic 105s were discarded due to lack of ammunition. That's why they're only available in phase A and B, but that still probably means you can get like 10 of them. Like, that's not really that few. 81 120s, and then 120 mil Fallschirmjäger, which means it has radio. Kick butt. Okay, some radio 120s. That's awesome. These will be augmented by heavier guns like the 122, the Russian one, the 152, which is the ML20. From phase B onward, you get 300 mil Nebelwerfers and Werfrahmen UE 6305 F 280. Well, that's a mouthful and a gross off map. Forget that. Ooh, this looks fun. Okay, I'm digging this. I'm digging this division. Air, you wouldn't have thought so, but the 91st Luftland division doesn't have the best air cover. Oh, that's a bummer. BF-109 G2 and G3s in fighter and fighter bomber roles, a handful of Ju-8 S1s, round up a couple of Focke-Wulfs. Okay, 190 G3s, that's fine. Actually, I think the G3s are bad resilience, so it's not amazing, but it is... Wow, okay. I'm not going to lie, this division actually looks really good. It may not seem like it at first glance, but your recon sucks. But if you get obvers and like some snipers, that's awesome. The infantry tab looks fantastic, like absolutely cracked. Actually, like if you get a ton of cards of Fallschirmjägers, like if God forbid they give you 2 cards of either of these, like either of these or these, like you're actually gonna be absolutely farting all over A and B phase. These Schützen, depending on their size and their price, might be insanely good. Again, if they're 25 points, that's still really good, actually. Like, that is literally a Panzergren squad for 5 points less. Because they're saying they will be similar to the Grenadier. They're not saying they'll be similar to a Panzergrenadier. They're saying they're going to be similar to a Grenadier. Which leads me to believe they're going to be cheaper. Like, just because. For no other reason, they're just going to be cheaper. So they're going to be a Panzergren MG34 squad for 25 points, which might be what Panzergren MG34 should cost in the first place, because they definitely aren't nearly as good as a Panzergren. I don't know. Argue about it. I don't care, but maybe. So this infantry tab actually might be absolutely cracked. The tank tab could be very serviceable. If we're getting at least 2 cards of Stug 3s, this is a perfectly reasonable tank tab. We have plenty of good German divisions or Axis divisions that have just a couple Stugs in the tank tab, and they're great. Like, they're phenomenal. 3rd Fallschirmjäger is a great example right off the bat, which this division is actually looking a little bit like at the moment. Support tab, if it has LG42, if it has 2 cards of LG42s, this support tab is fantastic. Anti-tank, this anti-tank tab is excellent. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Getting Garelics, which are disgusting with their exceptional stealth and stuff. You get pack 40s, you get pack 4388, so you have ways to kill big tanks. I mean, that is so good. Anti-air, this might be problematic. I mean, the Flak 36 is fine once you get to B. The 88 is meh. The 20 mils are obviously terrible. But this isn't bad either. Like, let me just be very clear. This is not a bad AA tab. It's just not a phenomenal AA tab. The Arty tab seems incredibly good. Anytime you get Nebelwerfers to work with, that's really, really good. And it looks like you get a mobile Nebelwerfer with big, like, Werframen killing stuff. You get some heavy artillery. You get some radio mortars. Like, this is very good. The air tab looks underwhelming, but it is what it is. So, actually, I would say this is the first one that I would say both divisions are actually kind of equal. I actually think this Luftlande division looks really, really good. And the Commonwealth of the Guards division, probably a very solid division overall, as long as the infantry aren't complete crap and the infantry tab is big enough. Although they're saying this division really lacks for nothing, so it sounds like it'll be just fine. So, yeah. Pretty good one, actually. This is nice. I like seeing 2 equally strength divisions, at least that appear on paper, actually being released. So, yay, Eugen. Hoorah. Yay for breaking some historical accuracy to make the division not suck. I'm happy with it. I'm cool with that. I hope you guys all enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider supporting over on Patreon. Thanks a bunch, and have a fantastic day.